Can you see the riverbank behind me on the far side? No, you can't see the riverbank behind me on the far side. Why is that? It's because the riverbank is underwater. The Trinity River is out of its banks, we say. It doesn't seem to know any boundaries anymore. It's taken ground that, well, hadn't been taken before. Think about that. Jesus, one time, came down from a mountain having chosen 12 to follow him, the first disciples. And then he spoke on the level with them and began to talk to them about the essentials of what it means to really be one of his. And virtually the first thing out of his mouth, you might say how to get to first base about what it means to be a Christian. He says, love your enemies. He goes on to say some more things about it. Among those things, he says this: if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Sinners do good to those who are good to them. If you lend to others, expecting full payment in return, what credit is that to you? Sinners lend to others, expecting to be paid back fully. No, you love your enemies. Do good to them. Lend to them, expecting nothing back in return. Then your reward will be great. Then you will be children of the Most High. For the Most High is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, for your Father is merciful. You know, whenever I hear those words, and sometimes when I see the Trinity River behind me, I'm reminded of my favorite book in the Old Testament, the book of Jonah. Jonah? You say, Dave, I don't see any great big fish or whales out there. I don't see any gourds growing up suddenly overnight. I don't see the city of Nineveh or anything else there in the book of Jonah. What's up? And I say, the message of the whole book of Jonah. See, the whole point of the book of Jonah was that God was not willing that any should perish, not even the greatest enemies of his people, and therefore himself, the Ninevites. He had such grace, he sent them a prophet. He had such grace, he gave them opportunity to change, to repent. He wanted to show them mercy. Jonah didn't want to have anything to do with a message of mercy. In fact, he is beside himself with it. Oh God, I knew this is exactly what was going to happen. I know what kind of God you are. You're a God of grace and mercy. And I just can see these Ninevites, you embracing them, and it just crawls all over me. I don't want anything to do with it. And the book of Jonah ends with, we still don't know where Jonah came out on it. See, the whole city of Nineveh repented, but we're not told whether Jonah really did or not. He just couldn't bring himself to love his enemies. But that's where God was. And the Ninevites understood that and embraced it. Wow. You know, a sign greater than the sign of Jonah has been given to us. And his name is Jesus. We once were enemies of God, but if we've been made a child of God, if we've become a Christian, we're no longer his enemies. We have that confirmation from God that we belong to him, that we're part of the family of God. We're no longer outsiders. We have a place we belong. We believe there's one who has been kind to us. We have lived under great goodness and grace from him for so long, and yet we're so ungrateful. We went about our own ways, and some of them are pretty terrible. We can be wicked as you can imagine when we want to be. But God gave us mercy. He's kind. Are we willing to share that God gave to us? Do we think we can keep God to ourselves? Do we not understand the the Trinity overflows its banks, that God is far bigger than we make him out to be, and that we can't put him in a box and limit his mercy just to us and those we love. I know a lot of questions come to mind when Jesus says this. Jesus, this is just too hard. And Jesus says, it's hard. I know it's hard as nails, but I'll be with you in all of this. I took up my cross, and I'm telling you, you can take up your cross and follow me. You say, Jesus, I wouldn't be being honest with you if I didn't say this, and I don't want to be a hypocrite. Let me be honest. I can't feel this. I never have. I don't know that I ever will, and I sure don't now. I can't feel this. And Jesus says, I'm not talking about feelings. I'm asking who's most high. Is your emotions on the throne? Or is it the Most High and what he has to say? You say, Jesus, I need specifics. I need you to spell it out. I'm pretty thick-headed. I'm dense. I'm stupid. I can't see what I've got to do to love my enemies. It's too big a task. It's too complicated. The way is too dark. How will I know I'm doing what you want me to do in any given situation? Sometimes I get anxious about these things. I know they're coming. The next day I get up. Maybe for a lot of days I'm going to get up, but I don't know what I'm going to do. And sometimes they take me by surprise. And then I'm really fumbling for words and what to do. I'm shocked. You got to give me some specifics. And Jesus says, I've already been specific enough. Love your enemies. If you keep your eyes on who our Father really is in heart, that he's kind, then go be kind. He's the Creator, and if you have your eyes on the Creator Father, then he will give you creativity of imagination as to how to respond when people give you hate. He is the God of love, and I am the embodiment of it. Now go in my name and extend our Father's love. Do what he, the Most High, would do in that moment that catches you by surprise or you know is already coming. Let the banks of love be awash with mercy and grace and goodness, washing away everything that's wicked and ungrateful. See everyone else around you, especially your enemies, as potential children in the family of others who would bow the knee to the Most High and recognize him for who he really is. That one you claim to lean into and say that he has leaned into you and says, you're my child. I have a reward for you. I want to give you all the assurance in the world that you belong to me. And here's how you can have it. Love your enemies. Grace and peace. Courage, too, to this end. Be with us all.